I have opened the file called Tailspin Remote Drone 1-6 to work with Mastery Assessment Project 1-6 on page 37 of your textbook. In this project, we're going to enter and organize the WBS for producing the Tailspin drone. And the WBS is the work breakdown structure. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we are going to have to add in some subtasks. So I'm going to scroll down here. First thing I want to do based on the previous lesson of 1-5 is make sure here that our tasks are auto scheduled, okay? You don't want them being manually scheduled. You want them to be auto scheduled. So make sure that the auto scheduled is selected, which it is here. And I'm going to go ahead and save it because this way I'm going to save it in the very beginning, because if I make a mistake or something doesn't come out right, I want to be able to use that file over again. So I'm going to go ahead and save it first. And I always save to my OneDrive. Okay. All right. And here I have my last name. Make sure you put your last name in front of the name. On page 38, it's telling us to save it as Tailspin Drone Complete WBS. So I'm going to just put in my name, but also to help me out, if you would put in the assignment number, which is 1-6. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save that. And it looks like I had already had a version in there, so I'm going to just save this as v.1 version 1. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I went ahead and saved my document, and I am going to go ahead and start adding the subtasks in here. And whenever you see these bolded areas, those are what we call phases, or they could be called categories. And then these items here are subtasks aligned underneath the categories. So you have to be really careful with these indentions. If you've worked with Microsoft Word, you know that you can indent. It's very important when you indent in Microsoft Project due to the fact that it will adjust your days and your Gantt chart view over here. So you have to make sure that you are aligned over. So we see here target, market, research, and analysis. Well, this research is actually a subtask of the target, market, research, and analysis. And surveys is a subtask of research, because you can see how it's indented a little bit. And then focus groups is a subtask of research, because you can see how it's in a direct line. Okay, observations is in a direct line, so it's a subtask of research. So be really careful when you are creating these new categories with the subtasks. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click down in task 28, and I'm going to type in the word design and press enter. Now notice how my design jumped over here under the analysis complete, but I don't want it under there because it's not going to be a subtask of analysis. So what I need to do is click on it and make sure I indent it, and I may have to indent it a couple of times and go all the way back over to this left hand line, and it's telling me this task cannot be outdented any further, so I know that I'm all the way over to the left. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and continue on, and I am going to type in here research findings evaluation, and I'm going to type design document, proof of concept. and also final design selection. Okay, now that I have those typed in there, these 4 items, task 29 through 32, are subtasks of design. So I do need to move these guys over underneath here. So I'm going to just click on the first one, and you can do them separately or you can do them all together. If you do it separate, you just click on the task number and you're going to come up to your task. Make sure you're on the task tab in the schedule area, and you're going to click right here on indent task. Okay, you'll notice design turned into bold and the research findings evaluation moved over as a subtask of design. So if you have a lot of other items, we've only have 3, but you can select each one by selecting the first one, holding your control button down on your keyboard, and then going ahead and selecting the other ones. And then you can go ahead and press the indent key up here, and then it moves them all over. Okay, so be really careful about your indentions and stuff, because it will affect your days and your Gantt chart view over here. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video for right now, and I'm going to go ahead and finish step 3 through the end of step 8, and then I'm going to come back on, and then we'll go ahead and go to the next steps. Okay, now I went ahead and finished typing in all the rest of the categories or phases and the subtasks. And when I was doing that, I noticed that they all lined up here right under the final design selection. So I have to make sure that I get these all the way over to the left. So I'm just going to go ahead and I clicked on task 33. And then I'm going to come down to task 46. But before I click on 46, I'm going to hold my shift down on the keyboard, and I'm going to click on 46. And that's going to highlight everything from task 33 to 46. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on the outdent, which is going to move all of those over under close to that line where they need to be. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my items in under the correct subtasks. So product development is my next phase, and these 4 items here, 34, and you can just left click and scroll down too to highlight your tasks. So all the way down to parts designation, I'm going to go ahead and click my indent, and you'll notice that I did a double click there, so I want to make sure that I do a redo there, because I want it to be a subtask of product development. Okay, the next one is the production planning, and I'm going to left click, hold down, and drag till I get down to final production plan approval. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure I only click one time this time and indent those. Okay, you'll notice that production planning went ahead and the production planning went ahead and indented one in. Okay, and then the last area here was our marketing. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on there and drag those down, highlight those, and do one indent there. Now I have put in all our phases, and I made sure my indents were correct. And then we're going to add beginning and completion milestones for each of these phases. Okay, so what we're doing here is I'm going to click here on task 29, and we're going to insert a milestone. Now in the last exercise, we just went in here and marked that subtask as a milestone. We put in 0 days, but we're actually adding the milestone begins and completion tasks. So we're not going to be choosing the 0 day over here. We're going to be coming up here and adding the actual milestone. So once again, we are on the task tab and we are over here in the insert area and we're going to click on add milestone. And then I'm going to click in here. You just click once in the little box there and you can just press delete to delete that out of there. And I am going to name this one Design Begin. Press my enter and I'm going to come down here on task 34. Make sure you always go down underneath the one that you want to place it under. And I'm going to add the milestone. Click once in the box to activate the edit. You can just click and highlight. Now this is going to be design complete. Now I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and I'm going to continue and add those beginning and completion milestones for the other 3 phases. I have now added for each one of those phases, starting with design, I have design begin and design complete. I did the product development begin, product development complete, and I added milestones because those are 0 durations or 0 days. Now when I come down here, I notice that I put my marketing complete milestone up one too high and I need to move that. So instead of having to delete that and starting over, what you can do is come over here and select your task. And you know how when we were moving them around before, we got the little right facing arrow? Well, to move these tasks around, you can get the crosshair bars. See how I got the crosshair bars on the number 53 task? Left click, hold down and drag down, and you'll notice now marketing materials switched with the marketing complete. So that's how you can change the tasks and the subtasks around. Always be careful about your indentions though, because that really will affect your views over here in the Gantt chart and your dates. And I'm going to actually click on this little double arrow here and scroll over a little bit so that you can see the finish date. You can see the start and finish dates there. Okay, and then there's my Gantt chart view. Okay, so now that we have done the, put the milestones, the beginning and the completion milestones in here, now what we have to do is we are going to link each of the beginning milestones, which is design begin, with the first subtask underneath the phase. So that's research findings evaluation. Then we're going to go ahead and link the last task, final design selection, with the milestone design complete. Okay, so all I'm going to do is get my right facing arrow, left click on 29, hold my control down and also select number 30. And I am going to go ahead up here on my schedule area. I am still on the task tab. And now I'm going to link them. Okay, and now you'll notice that those are linked. I'm going to go down and finish here on 33 and 34 and link. And then I'm going to go ahead and do 36 and 37. And I'm going to do 40 and 41. Link 43, 44. Okay, and I'm linking 47 with 48. And 50 with 51. And the last one, 53 to 54. Okay, and make sure all of those are linked. Okay, now that we have the milestones linked with the first subtask, you can see over here in your Gantt chart view the little arrow. Excuse me, and you see, you know, the diamond milestones are identified by the little black diamond. And then here's our link, because if we rest our mouse pointer on that line, or you can even double click there and you can see your task dependency. So we have the product development begins, and the initial prototype is dependent on product development beginning, and it's a finish to start. So of course one has to start, the product development begin has to finish before the initial prototype can begin, and that's the, once again, the finish to start relationship. Okay, so now what I have to do is I have to link all my subtasks inside the phase or category, product development, because you see here everything is showing starting and ending on January 7th. Well, we know that that's not right because we have some days involved here. So this phase here is going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 days. So we have to go in, and now we have to link all these subtasks inside the category in order to get this to come out correctly to our project finish date. So we are going to come up here and we're going to click on task number 29, which is the design begin milestone. And then I'm going to hold my shift down and click on number 34, which is the design complete. And I'm going to go ahead and create a link there to link those items. Notice that they now are taking into consideration the days here, 4 days. And I'm going to go down here to 36, which is the milestone for product development, and hold my shift and get the product development complete. I am going to select my link. Okay. One more time, we're going to go to 43, begin production planning. Hold the shift down and production planning complete and link. Okay. And then we're going to go to marketing beginning and marketing complete. Hold the shift and link. Okay. Now you'll notice that our dates did shift out a little bit, but they're still not correct because it's still picking up the start date of January 7th through January 10th, because it's picking up the days here of the duration. But what we have to do now is link the phases. So that is step number 11, part of number 11 also, where you're going to link the phases in the order you put them in. So we're going to select number 28, which is design phase. We're going to hold our control and do product development, product planning, and also we're going to scroll down a little bit and grab that 49, which is the marketing. Okay, watch your Gantt chart change. We're going to link those. Okay, so here, this is looking a little bit better because now we have January 7th through the 10th through the 16th, and the 16th through the 23rd, and the 23rd through the 24th. Okay, so we're getting a little better here, but we still have an area up here that needs to be linked because we added all of these items. Let me go down here to the bottom and click out of there. We added all of those items, so of course we're going to have to link the last phase that was in our project to all the new stuff that we just added. Okay, so that is the next step, which is number 12, where we're going to link the milestone. Make sure that you pay attention to that, because you want to make sure that you're linking the completion. This is the completion of the analysis phase with the beginning of the design phase. So I've got my task 27 selected, holding control down and grabbing the design begin, and I'm going to go ahead and link, and watch your chart. Your Gantt chart kind of disappeared, but what you do is you take the scroll bar down here at the bottom and you grab that and you scroll over, and now you can see where the new pieces or the new phases that we added into the schedule have now been added on after the analysis phase, which is our completion date of March 11th. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on my save icon here at the top, because we already had named it, so we want to make sure that we click on that save icon before we close out.